Welcome to Ghoulish Gab, always spooky, always under 7 minutes. And today we are talking about wrestlers in horror, wrestlers who act and make cameos and do non-wrestling things in movies. Now, Kayla, you are a massive wrestling fan, correct?
I love wrestling so much, both like indie and like WWE. If it's wrestling, I'll watch it. I'm into it. Oh, I'm so excited.
Why don't you start us off with one of the ones you wanted to talk about today?
Okay, so the one I absolutely had to talk about is Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it. Uh, I've seen it come up multiple times in other conversations, but I have not seen it. I have heard that it is pretty awful. Is that correct?
So here's the deal. Yes, it's kind of awful. It's 2013 film. Sean and I found it when we were just scrolling. It's the main star is the late great Roddy Piper. Like he's the main deal.
Oh,
But
okay.
it also has Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, Matt Hardy, Rebby Hardy, Shane Douglas, Kurt Angle, and more. But those are my favorites. And the title basically tells you the movie plot. This like drama-filled group of wrestlers who are like on tour are pitted against hordes of zombies when they get tricked into this like area, and it's a death trap. But like, are the zombies the only ones they have to fight? Yes, the plot is not great. Some of the acting is questionable, but it's a thing of beauty, and I would watch it again. It's on Peacock and Tubi, and I beg everybody to go watch it so I have somebody to talk to about it, please.
Do any of the zombies wrestle as
There's
well?
there's there's wrestling aspects, but no, the zombies are not good
Okay.
wrestlers.
I was kind of hoping for like a Royal Rumble where half of them were zombies. That would be pretty sweet. The one that I want to mention, of course, is Tor Johnson, who was in like every Ed Wood movie ever. So he might have been the first wrestler figure to appear in horror movies because between like the 30s and the 60s, he was wrestling and acting. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
he was in Plan 9 from Outer Space, Night of the Ghouls, and Bride of the Monster were a couple other more
Yep.
popular Ed Wood ones that he was in. And in the Ed Wood in the movie about Ed Wood, they had George the Animal Steel play Tor Johnson, and so they had another wrestler play him. So that was kind of an interesting when that happened as well.
Yeah, that would track because the only other older one I can think of is like the El Santo movies that he was in, that some of them were horror-ish. Um, WWE Hall of Famer Diamond Dallas Page is in the Devil's Rejects.
Yep.
Yep. Not only do I love the Devil's Rejects, but I love DDP. I have since I was a child. And it actually took me like three times watching the movie to realize that was DDP because he does not look like his wrestling persona at all in that. And it shows that I think he's a really good actor. I think that went well.
I feel like I've seen him in other things as well too. I don't remember what, but I feel like yeah, he's usually like not awful.
No, he's not. Uh, Somebody who is an awful actor, but has been in a lot of movies. And one of my favorite cameos in all of horror is Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2.
Mm, yeah, that oh my gosh, I forgot about that. They really break the fourth wall with that one.
Yep.
It didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. That would probably be the greatest cameo of a wrestler in a horror movie. That yeah, that was just insane. Um, Goldberg, you know who that? He's a
Oh,
wrestler.
in love with Goldberg.
Okay,
Was one of my first celebrity crushes for sure.
so I've only been to like two wrestling events ever. And one of them, he was the main event, but he came out like the first guy, the guy who was fighting got in the ring, and then Goldberg like ran into the ring, like clotheslined the guy, and the guy didn't get back up, and then he ran out. Like it was like 30 seconds, and everybody there was so mad. But then someone was telling me it was because he had like a televised thing the next night, and he can't. go too crazy. But anyway, he's in a movie called Santa's Sleigh. Have you seen this movie? It's fucking ridiculous.
No, that's actually on my list of a movie I need to see because I
Okay,
didn't know it existed.
you have to because it's just insane. Like it, I
Does
don't
it
even
have
want
Fran
to.
Drescher in it too?
Yes, yes, and I don't want to spoil any of it for anybody. But I mean, if you want something that's just like batshit crazy, because there's times where they're trying really hard to be a Christmas movie when they should not be focusing on that aspect. Because he's like the satanic Santa, and it's nuts. I've watched it at least twice, and I mean it's fun, but it's completely insane and stupid. And
Holiday Twin Ports feature.
yeah, it's worth showing anywhere we're watching. Of course, I think that the one of the most popular ones, or the most popular two, I would say that we don't have to talk about would probably be Jesse Ventura and Predator, and then Roddy
Obviously.
Piper and They Live. Um,
Absolutely. I avoided those because I felt like they were so obvious. Yep.
yeah, I think a lot of people have talked about those. How awful was Triple H and Blade Trinity? Not a good cast for a vampire.
But Blade Trinity just wasn't that great of a movie. So I don't know that we could blame that on Kevin or on Triple H.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were writing a great role for him or anything, but yeah, who knows? That
Ooh,
is
a quick fun fact
just
before you cut us off. Quick fun
yes.
fact. If you didn't know this, uh Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, Super Shredder is played by wrestler Kevin Nash.
Oh,
Hashtag fun
yeah,
fact.
that's right. Yeah, that's all the time. There's plenty more wrestlers who have done horror movies. Tell us about some of your favorites in the comments below, and Kayla will wrestle them if she doesn't
Yes.
like. She'll wrestle you if she doesn't like your comments. I don't know. Whatever.